Okay, great. Thank you so much. So, my name is Daniel Garcia, and with me here is my colleague Christine. We are super excited to be participating in DynamicsCon. Today, we are going to be talking about the secrets of how to take an average person to become a galactic super user. And so we're going to go through a little bit of the struggles of the average ordinary user. Then I'm going to hand it over to Christine. Christine's actually going to do a live presentation, a live demo of what is possible, what you could
Woohoo!
do with ClickLearn. And then we're gonna share with you three secrets of how to master user adoption. Of course, we're gonna have a Q&A session at the end. So keep that in mind. Think about some questions that you wanna bring up as we go through this. So I thought in describing the struggles of a typical user, I thought it would be neat if I share a little bit about my story of how it is that we got here present in front of you at DynamicsCon. And so my journey, my career, it has taken me to hold many different job titles, right? And work in many different industries. I used to work in merchandising. At one point, then I started doing product development where I had to work with suppliers in China to develop new products. I also worked in retail, both online and also helping retailers brick and mortar style. At one point I was like, okay, I want to continue traveling the world. And then I decided to do distribution to all of South America. So I used to manage a region from like Mexico all the way down to Argentina, Patagonia. Then I got homesick and I decided to come back to the States. And I ended up working for a unicorn company in South Florida called Kaseya. And they do IT infrastructure. This is where I actually met my wife, and she was missing her family. So then I said, okay, let's move to the Nordics. And so now we live here in Copenhagen, which is where ClickLearn is headquartered. So all of that to basically describe and to explain to you that my journey as an employee required me to learn many business platforms. So I had to learn everything from SAP to Dynamics. And so this journey was without, of course, it was with struggle because I always had access to learning, but very limited. So my first experience of learning was like binders. That was my first job. And okay, that's a little bit like telling my age, the analog years, but it was a reality. I used to have to travel and I had this SAP business system that I had to utilize. And I hated traveling with these binders. The binders never matched the reality of what was in front of my screen. I call them the bricks, hated it. Then the next experience that I had was classroom training. And classroom training is pretty cool if for one day, right? Because for one day you have access to the instructor, you have access to the super users, and everybody is like rah, 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 and you feel very motivated. But then when you leave and you start working, you have questions. And what are you going to do? You can't call the instructor. You can't go back. You try to reference to the materials that they give you, but it basically reflects the binders that I had before. So the most common way to learn, and I think everybody can relate to this, is shoulder tapping. So you have to rely on the individual that sits next to you to try to like get them to help you in create an invoice, create an order, and just use the business system. And actually nowadays that we're working remote, we have to shoulder tap in an electronic version of that, e-shoulder tapping. And that creates this digital fatigue because now that we have to also be on all of these different conferences with your coworkers and collaborate, then you're gonna shoulder tap electronically. It really adds up to yeah, the fatigue, the digital fatigue. So why do I say this is, when we think about why is it that there's so much limited amount of training is because I think there is a misconception between the expectation and the reality of digital transformation. And I've lived it. I lived it from the analog years to present day. And the expectation is that, you know, it is a one-time event where technology drives everything, and the end users are going to love it and be up and running. So you see this video of this gentleman that is just blazing through the obstacle course in American Ninja Warrior, right? And this is what our expectation of digital transformation is, when in fact the reality looks more like this video. It is a ongoing process. It is people, right? People driven. At the end of the day, it's about people. And we have to help the end users navigate this gauntlet, navigate all of these obstacles by providing them very robust e-learning. And eh, you know, the challenges with creating e-learning, I think a lot of you can relate. It requires the entire organization to be in line. You have to make a definition of who owns the training, what type of participation you're going to get between IT, HR, and the departments. Very, very common is the realization that you don't have the bandwidth to create all of these documentation. You don't have hours, days, and weeks to spend on creating videos and slides and all of this learning material that you're trying to, one, document for the organization, and then two, to help the users adopt the new solution. And so you don't have a centralized platform that allows you to collaborate, and it allows you to continue managing the content. And there's real consequences that come from poor user adoption. And it spans throughout the entire organization. It's kind of like a domino effect. The first one is the employees. I'm sure all of you can relate to this. Having to have KPIs, and you have deadlines, and you have all of these things that your boss is telling you you need to do, and you don't know how to use the business system. That causes a lot of stress for people. You have lost productivity from the end users, which then translates to a spike, an increase in help desk queries, right? And then all of a sudden you have your IT team that's should be focused on developing this technological roadmap, should be focused on building solutions for the enterprise, are now dedicated to answering questions that are kind of remedial in nature, right? And so ultimately what ends up happening is that you have a huge investment on the platform, and there's very low ROI, because at the end of the day, if the users don't know how to use it to its full extent, how it was meant, then this is really lost investment, right? So there is risk to the business, and there's lost profitability. Now, I know I talked, I'm painting a gloomy picture. Actually, I'm painting the reality, because even while working for this unicorn company that was $1 billion, and it was an IT company, they didn't have any of this, right? We relied to shoulder tapping. So, but it's, you know, at the end of the day, there is a better way. This is what we do. We're passionate about e-learning. We're passionate about helping end users succeed with new business systems. And that's what we're going to show you here today. You know, Christine, as our galactic super user says, can you please show us a better way? Can you show us an example of what is possible to create with ClickLearn?
And yes, 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 I can tell you.
I'll stop sharing my screen here.
Great. Let me go ahead and start sharing mine. I have lots of good things that I can share with everyone. And for those of you that have come in here for our DynamicsCon, I just want to say thank you for stopping by and joining our little ClickLearn universe for the next 30 minutes or so. And what you are going to be looking at here right now is our ClickLearn Help Learning Portal. And as you're looking through all of these things, I want you to be envisioning all of your branding material, all of your logos, all of your colors and font styles, because everything that you're looking at as we go through is all customizable. So from here, we have a variety of books on our shelf. You could think of them as categories. And what you're going to bring is the processes that you need to record for your end users to be able to successfully use your application. So if I go down into any one of these books, this book is going to have additional categories that you'll be able to go ahead and look into and at a glance see 7 different learning formats. You're always going to get a web page here to be able to view a step-by-step guided instruction. You're always going to have text that'll go along. You're going to have downloadable documents such as a PDF, a Word, and a PowerPoint document. We also have 3 videos. We have a show me, try me, test me video. So we have a variety of different learning formats, and we also have a live assistant that will be able to help you navigate through your live application. So from day one, any one of your end users can be a super user without any intervention, without any shoulder tapping. And I'm going to just take and follow the little breadcrumb trail right back out to bring you here to show you there's a variety of ways for you to be able to find information. Notice we have a couple of other categories over here for forms and entities. And for those of you that work in the Microsoft world, if you've ever clicked on the little question mark, you would know that you'd be able to go in and find the definition or find one of those forms that you'd be able to use and identify in the product. ClickLearn, we've put it together. We call this our inside help. So you would just have a one-stop shop to be able to search through all of that information. You could search up here using a keyword, so I could enter any information that I would want. And if I had a moment, now I have all of the different areas that I would be able to access just from that one keyword. But if that was a little too much for you to see all at once, when I come to the very bottom here, when I pop my content up, now you can see at a glance under each one of these categories where my information is, and it would take me right into that recording. If I'm going to be going to an area where there's remote location, where I really don't, where your Wi-Fi might be a little sketchy, you can also download this full portal, and it will download in a PDF format. So you could put it on a handheld device and take it with you as you go gliding through the ClickLearn universe. So from here, how do I get to this little help? And it's right here within our application. If I'm going to show you, we have our little live assistant here. And if I'm going to be working down at my account level, I have my icon right here. So whether it's going to be on a ribbon, whether it'll be on your navigation menu, wherever you're going to want to work to embed that application, keep in mind you'll have the inside help as well as all of the documents that you've created, that you've recorded using our ClickLearn Studio process.
Wait, so Christine, you're saying that so that portal that you showed us is embedded inside of Dynamics?
That's exactly right. So when I clicked on this little icon right here, it brought me right here to my ClickLearn portal, my learning portal, your knowledge bank, your help base, whatever you want to give that. Keep in mind, everything is customizable. It brings you right here.
So Christine, I see in the very top right next to the search bar, there's like this little cartoon. What is that?
That is our live assistant. So if you have an end user from day one and you've created all of your recordings for those work processes that your end user, your new hire needs to handle, you can go ahead and bring them right here. And the live assistant is just that. He is going to work live on top of your system. Keeping in mind, everything is customizable. So if you have a beloved president that you want to have a nice face, if you have a male or a female avatar, if you even want to have a Robbie the robot or somebody from Cars like a little tater, you can go ahead and customize all of this. And you can see right here will be the listing of all of the recordings that the live assistant will be able to launch. So if I want to go ahead and take a look down into my marketing list, if I want to add a lead to a marketing list, I would simply select that work process. When I say assist me now, here live on top of my system, I'm going to follow through the instructions, and now you notice this red rectangle that's around each step that I am now clicking actively live working in my system. So from day one, my end user is going to be active and be able to create all of these materials. This is even very powerful if you have your employee that has not used a particular piece of your application in a long time. Well, they can fire it up too. And then once they become become familiar with the steps and they've seen, oh, I know what I need to be adding here. I'm going to enter a name or follow through. Now I can simply close my assistant down and he will be up there to guide me so I can have him at any step of the way through any of the processes that I've captured using the ClickLearn Studio.
Wow, that's pretty neat. That's pretty neat. And Christine,
Yeah.
you said that it's all customizable. That means the portal too, that portal that you were showing before, all of that is customizable?
Absolutely. Every piece here that you see, you need to be thinking about what kind of colors can you do and what kind of graphics can you bring, everything from down to the icons to the font and everything in between.
Okay. Well, okay. So, but of course, this must take you months to put together, right? Because I saw that you have all kinds of different videos and formats. And how easy is it to make?
Let's go ahead and get started into the ClickLearn application. I'm going to open up, and right here you can see from within my ClickLearn Studio, very quickly we're going to be able to create a recording. We're going to just capture a few steps, and then we're going to produce those materials and take a look at what we've created right here, right now. So let's get started. We're going to create a recording. And we're going to use our CE platform. I'm going to record in my English US, which is my native language. And when I say OK here, in just a moment, ClickLearn is going to go ahead and show me that we're now going to see a little green rectangle. And as you can see here, with my green rectangle on that top right hand corner, ClickLearn is cross-platform. So I can start in one application. If I need to cross over and capture things from another website or web page, I could do that as well. And ClickLearn knows which one of the platform connectors that they need to use. Anything that has a link, that has a drop-down menu, that has access, and because we are a Microsoft Gold partner, we have access to all of the customization fields. So if you happen to have an application that you like to go customize crazy with, we can find that place as well. So for me, I'm just going to, our example here will just be, we're going to validate a little bit of account information. And I'm simply clicking in each one of these spots. I'm waiting for that green rectangle. And then when I'm done with my recording and I end it, now I'm going to give that recording a name, something that'll be a little bit meaningful to what your end user is going to be searching for. So if I want to be able to say, so that's the title of my work process. So here I am now right back into my ClickLearn application. And when I just very quickly pop this open, I can see on the left-hand side are the steps that I have captured. Over here, again, it's all about the templating. This is, Danny, I know you've mentioned it before. This is kind of the secret sauce. ClickLearn loves to be able to provide you with all those different templates for all of those different learning formats. So we have, again, keeping in mind your branding material, I'm sure you can envision it already. And now I've got that red rectangle that's captured the steps that I've just walked through my little work instruction. So from here, I could also produce my material. So when I produce the material, because right now I don't really have anything to show you other than my recording, but when I produce the material, again, just keeping it with my English US, you could see a little green progression ribbon in that lower right-hand corner. And by using the produce, now we're going to take a look at all of those different formats that I was showing you earlier from our help portal. So as fast as you can click through your work instructions, you can come right back here into the ClickLearn application. And now with the producer finished, we're going to come up here with that file highlighted. Let's view everything that we've just gotten done capturing. So here's our heading. Oh, and I should learn how to spell maybe the next time. But for purposes of our example here, you can see that we have the neatly cropped screenshots that go along with our text. Again, any kind of formatting you want to see, if you have a particular font style. But within this formatting here that the template has created, notice we have to click on, and then it's telling me where that area or element is, and it's actually given me the name of that area or element that we've captured. So this is not just a simple screenshot and pasted in somewhere, but ClickLearn is actually taking the time and it's looking into that dynamic part of the back of in the back end of that particular field or link. And we also have this nice little pop out, so if there's any visual that you would like to get that closer up view with, every one of our neatly cropped screenshots will also give me that information, as well as the PDF, the Word, and the PowerPoint, and then the Show Me, Try Me, and the Test Me video. But wait, there's more. Beyond that, let me tell you a little bit about why we have these 7 different learning formats. Because we have our end users that learn in different ways. So there, we do have your visual for everybody that wants to visually look at the work instructions, follow along with a PowerPoint, follow along with a recording. A video role, we have added audio to it, so that way for any auditory learners, you'll be able to listen to those videos. And then we have the Try Me video that you'll actually get your hands on and into it. So let's take a look, let's take a little bit of a deeper dive now that I've highlighted all of those spots. Let's take a look quickly at the Word. All of these open in their native applications. So Word is going to open up in a Word format, and you're going to have those neatly cropped screenshots, and then you're going to have your work instructions. We've added a little bit of metadata in the heading, and again, because it opens in Word, these are all customizable fields. We identify who the writer or the author of your work process is. So I'm Che at ClickLearn.com. That's my email address. And again, we have a little bit of the footer information as well. The PDF, it opens up in Adobe Reader, doesn't open up in the full Acrobat program, but still you can see the neatly cropped screenshots. We have our text. If you want to have your screenshots on the left and your text on the right, all customizable, plus our header and footer information here. Then we have our PowerPoint, and the PowerPoint, this opens up. This is really awesome for a couple of reasons. Number one, ClickLearn has now gone behind and it's captured the entire screen. So now you get a chance, if you're going to be an in-classroom trainer, that you want to get your hands around the entire screen. That way it allows you to have a conversation with those 20 or 30 people that are all sitting raptly in front of their laptops or their PC computers, and they also want to have a greater understanding of what these processes are. This is also very handy if you're going to be presenting in any conference room setting. So if you have some business stakeholders and they want to see what the adoption rate or what kind of materials for your end users to be able to get their hands on. And it goes through just a regular PowerPoint presentation process. So as you have your discussion, from all of those fields that you've clicked in, you can have your discussion and it brings you right back out. Now we have the Show Me, Try Me, Test Me video. Danny, are you ready to see some more?
Oh, bring it on.
Okay, so now the Show Me video, this is really nice. If you do have, even if it's lengthy or if it's just a little word instruction, get yourself a little cup of coffee or a glass of water, because now once you click go here, I'm taking my hand off the mouse and ClickLearn is now going to lead us through those few steps for the work instruction. And now you're going to hear Miss Sally tell you what these instructions are all about.
Click on the text field account name. Click on the text field phone. Click on the text field fax.
So I got my hands in the air like I just don't care. So ClickLearn has, again, the templating has all been done for us. I didn't have to worry about opening up a separate video recorder and wiping away any of those mouse clicks or the mouse movement from the beginning. ClickLearn has only captured those spots that I actually clicked in to capture that link or that drop-down box, whatever it was, and now we're presented with an optional feedback panel. So I can give some sentiment to my process, leave a little comment, and I can show you where we're going to pick this information up in just a little bit. So the next one is the Try Me video. Now the Try Me video, it becomes interactive that I can go ahead and click to get started. And I do also have a little mute, so if I want to mute Miss Sally, that I can, and I might want to tell you a little bit more about what's going on.
Click on the text field account name.
So now again, we have our visual, right? We're able to read. We have our auditory. We're able to listen to what Miss Sally is telling us to do. Now I also have the interaction. So I've got a little bit of tactile going on because now I have to click in this box. If I don't click in the box as I'm doing here, all clicking all around until I click in the box. And now I need to click on that field phone. I need to click on that field fax. If I wanted to enter any information, you can enter that as part of the editing process for your work instructions. And again, an optional feedback panel. The Try Me is awesome because if you have brand new end users and you want them to become familiar with the process, you don't have to assign them a separate training ID. You don't have to have a separate training database prepared and constantly be updating and filling information in. They can come into your application and repeatedly take this Try Me over and over, all of it, the Show Me, the Try Me, and the Test Me, until they feel comfortable enough that then they'll be able to go into the application and work it. Then we also have the Test Me video. The Test Me video, now I better have been paying attention because when I start this up,
Click on the text field account name.
I'm going to silence Miss Sally and just show you I no longer have a stop or a back button. This is a SCORM compliant test package. So as I'm going through, I will be graded for my answers. So if I don't click in that spot, I'm going to get reminded that I need to pass or fail. And you can see right over here, I've got 5-point value for 5 attempts. So this is, of course, all graded however many or however few work instructions you have. And that SCORM compliant package can then be taken from, we host it on our Azure platform. You could take it and move it into your learning management system so that you can use the reporting functionality in there to get with your end users to let them know how they did, what their grading was for the recordings that you've created.
So Christine, so all of this was created automatically from those few steps that you captured?
Yes, absolutely. Let's get back here. Let's go ahead and close this one down as well. So here within our ClickLearn, all we did was capture those steps, and from this one recording, we had all of those formats that came out of there.
Okay, but what if you know, I want to add some additional information to those steps, like some tips and tricks on, you know, how to do things?
Yes, so easy peasy lemon breezy. Let's go ahead and open. Let's open up our work instructions, and now you can see our ribbon menu has changed a little bit. We now have some editing functionality that we can go ahead and add some things in here. Hey, let's say that we have a new step that we need to add. Maybe there's a particular step, an additional step here in our account information screen. So I'm going to just come down here. I'm going to come over to the recording, and being that I'm right here on my page, I'm still here on my page, so if I want to grab a little bit of account information from this screen, I'm going to simply say, let's record a new step. And then once ClickLearn is going to, again, it goes in the background and it's saying, here's your screens, what do you want to do? So I had grabbed a phone and a fax number. We're going to grab this website. We're going to grab a ticker symbol. If we want to add information, we can provide a ticker value in there. But I just wanted to grab a few more steps to add it, just again to show you how quickly. And the templating takes care of all of that. So it placed them right there at the very end where I wanted them to be. But now we have a lot of area, real estate, if you will. If I'm going to be looking at this from a web page and scrolling down through all of this, when all of this information is right here within my account information section. So what I can do, another editing function here is that I'm going to hold the control key down, I'm going to grab a few fields, and now I'm going to group them together. Now I have the power of being able to improve the image that I can capture all of the information for this account information box. And so then that way my end user is going to know, here's the box where all that information is. I'm going to say okay, and I'm going to leave it at a numbered list because again, there's a lot of the pain points, and if there's any trainers that are here with us right now, you know the difficulty of having to go and find an object, color the object, make sure you got those right RGB colors, then make sure I've got my numbered correctly right on top. I'm going to have to invert that from the automatic black to the white. And then I also have to make sure that I'm not restarting my numbering or I'm starting it in the right place. All of that formatting, that templating is done for you right here in ClickLearn. If I think that looks a little too busy, now I can come over here, because remember, all of the magic happens on that left-hand side. So when I double click in my group of steps, now I have a choice that I'm just going to simply change it to a bulleted list. Bam, pow, zoom. Here we have all of our bullet points.
So you can do a lot of, okay, I get it. You can edit a
Yes.
whole bunch of stuff. What about when there's like an upgrade on the business system?
Yes. So
You know, how
let's
does that work?
let's talk a little bit about our replay function. So the replay function, I can take any of my work instructions. So for this particular work instruction, let's say that I need to just go through one more time and make sure that I have all of those steps, whether there's an addition or I just want to clean it up if I've got any hanging banners. And replay is also it's great for using the additional languages. So you can simply highlight that recording, and if I want to replay it, ClickLearn, I'm going to select the replay, and then ClickLearn is going to take over, and it's actually going to look at that recording and go back into my application. So whatever the steps are that I've performed, I can do that using the replay function right here. So if you have any upgrades with your Microsoft systems, if you have any releases, if you've added a customization field, the replay is great for doing that, because it'll go through, it'll stop at a particular step, and then you'll be able to tell it to click and continue. So here we go. Whether English US, this is where I would change it to a different language for replaying for globalization. And now I've taken my hand off the mouse, and in a moment you're going to see ClickLearn is going to take over my mouse, and it's going to move through that example. And in just a moment, my hand is now off the mouse. You are going to see ClickLearn take over, and it's going to walk through the steps. It's looking at the recording, the steps that we have in the recording, and it's going to just take and go 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's ClickLearn. ClickLearn is now looking into that recording. It's looked at the steps that we've captured. It's just going right down the line. It's replaying. So if there's any additional fields that we've added, if we put any additional ticker information in, the replay has now been completed successfully. And so from here, we simply just come and produce the material one more time so that it captures any of those changes or updates that we've made. This is also very helpful when you want to globalize your work instructions. So if you have businesses in other parts of the country, or other parts of the world, the way that Danny was describing, literally going all around the world to different countries, ClickLearn has about 48 different languages that you'll be able to take this one single recording and localize it to whatever that language in that other country is, so that your end users in that country will get a consistent message. So your training will be consistent, no tapping on the shoulder, no handing out big binders. And then once you have created that in a different language, you can come and view it. In this example here, we've had one that we've created in our Canadian French. And so once I launch my video, now you can see everything has been changed it's been localized to French. And then when I listen to the audio on my recordings, my Show Me video.
Utilisez ce guide pour valider les informations sur un compte. Cliquez sur l'élément compte.
That sounds like Canadian French to me. So does that help, Danny?
Yeah,
Replay is awesome.
So if I understand correctly, the replay, when it was going through the steps, it wasn't you. You had your hands up, and it's ClickLearn that it understands the business system from within, going through these steps to recapture and update all of the content to the latest version of the business system. Is that correct?
I'm telling you, you're going from a stargazer all the way out.
I'm on my way up.
You're on your way.
Okay. so I'm clear. Okay. So you produced everything, and you edited, you added conceptual information. You have the virtual assistant. you localized it, you have replay to update all of the content. So now the final and last question is, how do you track all of this? How do you track your users? How does that
So
work?
we have two things that we have to do here to be able to track it. Is we take this recording and we put it into one of our books, and the book is going to be one of those icons that we looked at. Is the category something again that's going to be meaningful to your end user, and what the work instructions involve. Then you take those books and you put it onto your shelf, and you give that shelf whatever the name is that has meaning to you, to your business, your end users. And then that is the link that gets put out into your ClickLearn, your CRM system. So when I come back out here to my accounts, that link that we just looked at, that shelf, that will display right here. So now your end users are accessing the information, they're generating work, and how are you going to be able to track that? Here within ClickLearn Studio, you would come out to the cloud portal, and we host this on our Azure platform. And here on the dashboard is where you'll be able to see a plethora of information based on however many learning portals you have created. And up here you can see I've got the hyperlink for a variety that I'm tracking. We have heat maps here at the top, so you could see at a global level where your end users are that are accessing the information from that link in your CE system. Over here on the right, you could see the top books that they are accessing. So that lets you know that they are getting down into that granular level to the work instructions. And then here is where the rubber meets the road. So now these tiles across the center, you could see at a glance the numbers of how many pages have been viewed. Your Word, your PowerPoint, your PDF documents have been viewed. Here we have the show me, try me, test me. So all of these are ticks that lets me know your end users have been accessing that. And this is something that you can take out in an OData feed spreadsheet. You put it up into your learning management system. Using the reporting process, you'll be able to see that granular level of who the end users are that are accessing all of that information. Here you also see where the sentiment is that was given for the overall rating on the optional feedback panel. Here's the actual feedback, the content that was left in. Then below that, here's where we have search results we've captured for anybody that has used the search functionality in the top of your learning portal. So this is very good for your trainers or your documentation writers. If there's somebody that is looking, if you see you have a lot of hits on things like the Assist or the Chrome, this might tell you you can maybe make your documentation more robust, add new materials. And as you create your materials and you go along through your recording process, it's just simply a matter of taking those new recordings, putting it into a book, dragging and dropping your work instructions over, put them into the book. And then once you produce and publish, you take that book up to your shelf. And then from my shelf, I produce and publish my material, and take that link and put it into your CE system.
Awesome. Very nice.
Whew.
Very nice. Awesome. Thank you so much, Christine. You know, I thought that was a great demonstration. Gives, I think, the audience a good flavor of what is possible with ClickLearn. Certainly, I'm sure that if anybody's interested, we can coordinate more in-depth demos and go deeper into the rabbit hole. Yeah, so what you just saw Christine go through is the end result of this is where we like share with you the secrets of successful user adoption, right? Intelligent user adoption, and we call them the secrets, but they're actually the principles, our guiding principles. It's how ClickLearn, the solution, is built. Right? So you saw the end result, and the theory behind it is that in order to have a successful user adoption, you have to make sure that your content is of high quality, available, and relevant for your audience, right? And you need to continue listening to your audience by different means in order to hone in and fine-tune that set of instructions that you provided to them. That's why you see all of the arrows pointing to the center of successful user adoption. So let's go through each one and let's try to understand what do we mean by it. quality, what quality means is that with ClickLearn, you can have 5 people, you can have 10, 15, right? So we talked about how in order to be successful in training, you have to have all of the stakeholders involved in the process. And so with ClickLearn, you can have 20 or 100 people creating learning document, and it's always gonna have that same consistent look and feel, right? With your corporate identity shining through, and all of the documentation is always going to have that consistent verbiage, right? Everybody using the same vocabulary. Versus if you do it by hand and everybody is doing their own thing, it's gonna look completely different, right? Availability, what does that mean? Availability means that you can access your learning portal from any device, whether it's desktop or mobile. You can access it whether you're connected or on the road, not access to internet. It means you can have it from within your business system, right? You can engage the learning portal from within your business system, but then also you can activate the virtual assistant if you like. It means that it's in your local language. So if you think about being an enterprise that has locations around the world and you have an audience that best learn in German, let's say, you can provide them with a German learning portal very easily with ClickLearn. And so availability means complete access, even to the point of the portal itself. The portal is searchable. It's very easy to use. So that goes to availability. Relevance means that whatever it is that the user has in front of them is a true reflection of what they see on the screen. So with the replay functionality that Christine showed us, you can update your entire library. You can have 120 different processes. I mean, we're talking hundreds and hundreds of files that can be easily updated with the replay functionality so that the users always have something that is relevant. The second that myself as an end user, and if I'm using a set of instructions and it doesn't reflect the reality of what I have in the screen, it ceases to be important to me. It's not relevant. I throw it out the window, right? So this is very important as well, relevance. Lastly, we have built-in analytics. What we're trying to do here is we're trying to close the gap between the audience and the authors. We're giving a voice to the end users so that they can communicate with you via subjective feedback, but then also you can analyze, do some objective analytics, how they are consuming the learning portals, right? And you can get down to the user level. You can extract all data and really flex your Power BI muscles to continue honing on a set of instructions that's good, relevant, and increase user adoption. So with that being said, if what you saw today moves you, if you can relate to what you saw today as an end user, if you are in a position of leadership, if you're in a position to have a positive impact in your organization for managing a change, for digital transformation, we hope that you take advantage of our swag bag. And actually we call it eSwag. So exclusive for DynamicsCon, we've put together this nice little package. So if you go to clicklearn.com/go/DynCon, you're gonna see the following. Number one, we have collected a set of stories and case uses so that you can hear firsthand, not from us, but from your peers, other organizations, how they're using ClickLearn and how they're going about it for their user case. Number two, we have what we call a ClickLearn universe. We're launching in October. These are very robust training sessions. These are basically, we are going to make you click learners. And so part of this DynamicsCon packet is that you're going to have free 2 full courses. One is gonna be on instructional design, Whoop, sorry about that. The other one is going to be on adoption and change management. Okay, so we're going to take you from being a stargazer to a full-out cosmic legend, right? That's the natural progression of our ClickLearn universe. Last but not least, we are going to share with you the 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 tools to be successful, to master user adoption, right? So we're gonna inspire you, we're gonna share education, then we're gonna give you the actual tool itself. You're gonna have access to a 60-day trial license. Then if it makes sense, if it's a good fit for your organization and you wanna go forward with it, then you're going to have available 2 free months for the subscription. That's only exclusive, only for participants of DynamicsCon. So again, this is a packet to help you master user adoption. Please go to clicklearn.com/DynCon. Get yourself your e-swag. We hope that this was very informative for you. I think now we're gonna go over and take some questions. Please, by all means, shoot away.